All right, everyone, welcome back to another great episode of Basscast Radio. I am your host, Brian Carter, and above me, if you guys are watching on YouTube, is Mr. Hank, the Bass Geek. What's happening, brother? What is going on, man?
Man, I'm showing the spirit fingers today. I'm in a good mood. Things are going good. We're ahead on the videos. We just dropped one yesterday for all you people out there watching. Some really cool baits in that video, especially for some fall bassing. Going fishing. Man, and I can't wait. It's going to be a good day for me tomorrow. Other than that, man, just doing better than I deserve, I guess.
It's getting really, really close. I mean, we're already experiencing the fall weather here in Central Virginia, guys. The cooler nights are here.
Yeah.
Let's hope they stay. Because I was talking to some of the boys last weekend, and even our rivers around here are still 80s.
Yeah.
85. So we definitely need to see that cool down.
They're already dropping up here or down here.
Yeah.
So we're already seeing. I was on the lake today. Didn't get there till middle of the day because I didn't get to fish. We just got to film. And man, we were seeing. Now this is a very highland, way up on a mountain, but reservoir. But it was like 75, and I mean we're talking like 2 o'clock today.
That's very nice.
So, and where we're going tomorrow should be, it's another Highlands Reservoir way up in the mountains, and it should be about that same temperature, which we've been kind of, if you guys haven't seen a video talking about a pattern that I love that works from about midsummer all the way to mid-fall, you guys need to go check that out. That dropped last week, and I'm telling you, I put some deets, some juice, I mean juicy juice in that sucker. One of the big things, and I actually released even a short on this, or a TikTok, whatever platform you want to watch it on. But we were talking about how when the lakes get drawn down, if you're on that type of lake, how the bass and the shad actually move out of the first half of the creek to the main lake. So
yes,
what you've been told about during the fall, the shad and the bass move to the backs of the creeks, isn't true at first.
Right. That's 100% true. I actually read that. It's been kind of slow at work. I ain't gonna lie, guys. I've been reading a lot of Bassmaster. Yeah, that's 100% true. So I just shared the video over to the Basscast Facebook page, and like I said, head on over to YouTube and check out Geek. Man, what a great weekend it was here at the basscast.com. It was great to get back out on the water and get to back out to the lakes, water here for me.
Yeah.
Back to the lakes and see everyone. And the 94.9 Star Country, congratulations to the two young men that won. That sticks from up there at Clater Lake. And then we headed down on Sunday and covered the Bass Nation of Virginia. For you guys who are a big fan of Bruce Callis's writing, Bruce put up a new story this week, The Transition, Shifting Your Fishing Habits. A great story by Bruce. Give it some love. Hit the share button as always, because that's how this thing works. And leave a comment. I actually think comments more are now important than shares on Facebook. That's just my opinion.
Wow.
That's my opinion. I ain't gonna lie, because I watch it. That's my opinion. But check it out, because, this thing's, the website's been blowing up. I really appreciate you guys taking a look at that. In news this week, I didn't have a chance to talk to Geek about this before the show, but the ABA guys, American Bass Anglers, I don't know if you saw this, Geek, yet, but 2024, there will be a professional series.
I did see that, actually. Who is the title sponsor? Bass Boat Electronics or Bass Boat Mounts?
I didn't post
somebody like that. That's
it's three. I think it's 3 1/4, and it's one person a boat. It's just like you fishing the Elite Series. And now I'll be honest, I was at work, so I didn't get a chance to read the whole entire thing. But it's $10,000 guaranteed to first place on a complete field. I'm not sure what it's probably, I don't want to say probably. My opinion is 150 boats. It's usually what it is.
Yeah.
Give or take.
Probably.
So, but you can head on over to ABA. I've added the link to Facebook. A lot of you guys already made a lot of comments about it. There are 3-4 events on Bugs Island. The North Carolina side is what I was told. So, ABA. Also today, Major League Fishing dropped their, what is it called? The Phoenix Bass Fishing League schedules for 2024.
Oh
So
yeah.
that's up on the website now. And let me click on it real quick and go to that. And it's actually, I think it's a great schedule. I ain't looking at the dates. I'm just looking at where they're going and you know, where they will be in 2024. Did I say 3? I meant to say 4.
Oh yeah.
But there a lot of Smith Mount Lake a couple times, and I am like driving right past that freaking schedule, guys. As good as I am here. Oh, there it is. Okay, so Shenandoah Vision is going Smith Mount Lake. They're going to Potomac. Then they're going to the Potomac again, and then 2 on the James River, up in Henrico, Virginia.
That's
And
nice. I haven't looked at the 2 divisions that I fish,
yeah,
which I think I know what the mountain division is because it's kind of the same every single year. And I'm probably definitely going to fish that first one on Dale Hollow because I've got a little bit of revenge I got to extract on
I was
it.
waiting. I was waiting to hear that from you, geek.
Yeah,
Uh,
I may not fish any more next year, but I'm telling you, that one, me and that one, we got a beef, and we
Boom.
gonna work. We gonna work at it. Work it
So the
out.
Piedmont Division, Smith Mountain Lake in March, Kerr Lake in April, High Rock Lake, they're going down Lexington, North Carolina in June, James River, and then September the 21st and 22nd, the Basscast will have to be. I think I'll have to get a park pass this year. They'll be back down in Kerr Lake in Henderson, North Carolina for that. So
Nice.
it's going to be a lot of time spent on Bugs Island, Kerr Lake this year for the Basscast. Because, like I said, we got the 4 ABA tournaments, a bunch of stuff happening. And I've actually thought about maybe even covering some of the Northern Division Bassmaster Opens next year.
Oh, that's cool.
Because I need, just like you anglers, I'm still going to cover the local stuff, guys. Nothing's going to change there. But Brian needs to put his big boy pants on, start covering some of the larger events. And I talk to, I bump ideas off people all the time. And we're trying to move up to different levels as well with the Basscast and, go explore newer locations because I spent a
Mm-hmm.
lot of time on 2 lakes. A whole lot of time. A lot of time.
Yeah, that's same here. Same here. And that's one of the things. It's one of the reasons why I took on mountains of debt, just mountains of it, for a new truck and a new boat this year, is because it's hopefully going to allow me to, I'm luckily enough, I'm like 4 or 5 hours away from Smith Lake. I don't even think I'm that far from Clater. And then, the North and South Carolina lakes, I'm only 4 or 5 hours, maybe 6 hours from a whole bunch of the South Carolina lakes, and 3 4 hours from a bunch of North Carolina lakes, all the Tennessee River lakes
Oh,
down.
yeah.
So I've really got a great sort of middle area that I can travel on. I really want to go fish some different and diverse fisheries instead of all these super deep, super steep highland clear water lakes that I'm always on.
So you guys always hear me and Geek talk about it. We want to be free. I ain't gonna
Yeah.
lie. You guys have seen the Google AdSense on the website. That's it's helping pay the bills. I'm looking at adding a few more things to the Basscast itself that you won't see on the website, but I'll see. This laptop's 7 years old. I, you know, it's a lot of things that need to be replaced before I make any leap whatsoever. But so we're looking at making that leap, both of us, because that will allow us to cover more tournaments, be on the road,
Yeah.
and just bring you guys a lot more great content right here at the basscast.com and Geek on on
YouTube
the
and
YouTube
every other
channel and
place.
Instagram, Twitter, Facebook, the whole
Yeah.
9 yards. So it'll allow us to expand. All right, guys. Tonight, Mr. Kyle Welcher, 2023 Angler of the Year. We're going to dive into it. As always, we're going to take a little different twist into it. But, what an amazing season it was for him. This is his, if I looked right, third season on the Bassmaster Elite Series.
That's pretty impressive.
And that's pretty daggone impressive, dealing with the ups and the downs and the whole thing that goes into bass fishing to win this. I mean, like we had Joey Cifuentes on last week, and Angler of the Year, Rookie of the Year. I mean, it's known. You win Angler of the Year, it's like prestige.
Yeah.
I mean, it's like
I know Kyle pretty well, and I sent him a text, right after. I know he was super busy, but my words were to him, "You're the world champion." I'm like, to me, Angler of the Year means you're the best angler. I know that the Classic is the world championship, but to me, you're the best angler in the business if you win Angler of the Year.
Yeah, because it's not just one tournament, guys. We all know that.
Yeah.
But it's a complete season. It's your complete season wrapped up with that one trophy that you maintained. You didn't even have to win an event, because Kyle did not win an event. Kyle,
and excuse my language, but it means you kicked everybody's ass consistently all year.
Right, correct. And Kyle Kyle's never won an event, guys. He has never won a Bassmaster Elite event. And if I don't want to keep talking about this because we need to bring him on, but Kevin Van Dam won a bunch of stuff. He won a bunch of classics, but he never, he had a lot of seasons where he just did really, really well.
Mm-hmm. G-Man's won 2 Anglers of the Year, never won a blue trophy.
That's very true.
Kyle Welcher, good company.
Kyle Welcher, everyone. Kyle, man, we're welcome to Basscast Radio, and really, really appreciate you coming on tonight's show and talking with us. I know you've probably been on a YouTube podcast parade. You've talked to everybody in the business, and hopefully you saved the best for last. We hope.
Yep. Well, I hope so too, because they do get. I have done quite a few, and answering the same questions do get a little bit, a little bit old. So maybe we'll spice it up a little bit in this one.
Let's spice it up a little bit.
I got the spicy questions coming.
Yep.
We talked about that a little bit before you came on, man. The Angler of the Year trophy was your first Bassmaster Elite trophy. I mean, I think the closest you've come to a win was second place.
Yep. Which is, we became really close in that.
Yeah, the Classic. I was gonna say, I still think the weigh-in scale might have had a thumb on a scale. I'm not, I'm not saying anything, and I know Kyle can't, but I've watched the video. I'm kidding.
Yeah,
I'm kidding.
No comment.
Here we go, guys. Already. But how are you feeling, man? Like I said, top of the world. You won, and we said, me and Geek were talking about that earlier as well. You won probably one of the best awards that any angler out there, because this showed that your season added up points, everything to win this title.
Yeah, to me, right now, I'm just like super proud of stringing it together and overcoming so much adversity, because it's not all sunshine and rainbows. Even throughout the course of one single day, you hit lulls and you got to make adjustments and stuff like that. So to be able to do it better than everyone else through so much adversity all year, it's not like I had more than anyone else. It's just we all face it on a daily basis, and to overcome it and scratch and claw. And last year I came in 69th in the points. So last fall, I'm just like, man, did I forget how to bass fish? Like, I don't even know what's going on. And then to come out this year and just like string it together and be so fortunate. It's just, I'm super proud of it right now, but we're shifting gears and trying to back it up right now, trying to plan and back it up next year.
It was 2 years ago, we had another Angler of the Year that won it. Shoot, I don't know why his name, I forget it now. Huh?
Seth Fighter.
Yeah, Seth. And
Yeah.
Seth, Seth brought it up, and he said that the tournaments just aligned. When you looked at the schedule for 2023, how did you feel that they aligned for you?
There was a lot of them on there that I felt like were going to be easy for me to fish my strengths and kind of fish by the seat of my pants. And that's kind of, I like fishing tournaments like that because whenever practice goes out the window, you can kind of scramble. And I always feel like I'm a really good scrambler, but I'm not that good at finding fish, and I'm not that good at game planning for some reason, but I'm really good at scrambling. And whenever you are on a lake that kind of fits your styles, it's really easy to do that. So even whenever practice kind of goes out the window and what you thought was going to work is not working, those kind of lakes are the ones where, you can just throw everything out and just go fish. And we had this year on the schedule, I think 6 or 7 of them, I felt like I was going to be able to fish kind of one of my strengths in. There was 2 that I had circled that I was scared of, and they were actually the 2 that were closest to home. But other than that, I felt like they were really going to set up pretty well for me this year.
What you just talked about there, right there, we had, with Joey on, and we were talking about that. And also I talk about local anglers as well, those home bodies of water that a lot of people fish and getting spun out on their own lake. It happens so many different times with so many different anglers because they are, man, I'm confident. I know I got this.
Yeah. And then a lot of times when you're on your home water, you'll fish ahead of the fish. You'll fish somewhere where they're supposed to be and nobody's found them yet. Yeah. And then you'll just kind of fish ahead of them when they're not even there yet. And I mean, we do that all the time, going out fun fishing. You're like, man, it's September. I know where they're supposed to be. And it's like, well, they're not here yet, and now maximize that to a tournament whenever you think you're ahead of the curve and you're actually way off base, Yeah.
Hey, you said you're not good at finding fish. What do you really mean by that?
So there's a few different things that I think there's a few different categories of anglers. There's decision making is the biggest one for it, period. Right. Then there's catching fish, and then there's finding fish. Catching fish is the easiest part. Like every single professional is very, very good at catching fish. What separates them is the decision making and the finding fish in practice. And the reason I say that is like we go to bodies of water that are 300,000 acres, 100,000 acres, or bigger. Like I don't even think the St. Lawrence River and Lake Ontario is measured in acres because it's too dang big, So we go to those types of places, and some guys just really have a knack for understanding the sweet spot, and then they can take a big lake and break it down into, well, there's only 17 or 18 places on this entire place where they could be as far as potential to win. And I've always kind of struggled with that. I feel like I'm an above average decision maker and I'm above average at catching them. But I feel like as far as professionals go, I'm below average at actually finding them. And I don't know why, because I work a lot at it. And I have bad practices a lot, and I just don't. It's just like I get there and it's just like they're not where I think they're going to be very often,
Right.
I don't feel nearly as bad about myself right now.
I mean, I've told other people, I've told some of my buddies that, and I'm like, man, I'm probably the worst person on the elites at finding them. Like I don't understand it. Like I don't know how I never find them. And then it's like, and then in the tournament, I'll just run around and I'll catch one here, one from a place I've never fished, and the wind will start blowing on a bank that I fished on day 2 of practice, and I'm like, they'll probably be there, so I pull up and I catch another one. And at weigh-in, I've got a bag, but it's like where I had to go to get it is not normal,
Wow, that's funny. It's a long season. We all know that. And this season was a little bit more spread out than it has been. There's a few back-to-back, but it was kind of spread out. Mentally and physically, how did you prepare for the 2023 season?
So I just have like routines as far as, I mean, everything is small as like I put the cover on the boat every single night before a tournament. And it's just one of those things where it's a discipline thing. And I have a lot of little things like that. It's just, you don't slack on doing the small things. Like you don't say, oh, it'll be fine, I'll do it tomorrow. Or, oh, it'll be fine, I'll retie that in the morning. Or that line's fine, I only fished with it for a day, like I'll just retie and use it tomorrow. There's just those types of little small things. I just try to stay on top of that. And another thing is, I just try to do things to make sure I don't get frustrated. Like you wake up in the morning and you snoozed your alarm 4 times, so now you're rushing to get to the ramp at before daylight, and then you get there and you're like, man, I got to go get gas. So now you're another 5 minutes behind, and you forgot ice, so you got to turn around. So I try to make sure that I don't do those little things that can make you frustrated and start to make you have a bad day off the water before it even starts. And
I like that.
that's just kind of, I have a routine for everything that I do as far as getting gas and doing rides and all that type of stuff. And whenever you do that, you just have a lot of confidence in what you're doing, and you're efficient with your time also, which time management is another really, really big one as far as being a professional angler, because we have 3 practice days that sometimes are 16 hours, 3 days in a row, no off day. We get off the water, retie, reline, be at the ramp at 7 for the tournament. Just like if you waste 15 minutes 4 or 5 times a day, that's an hour and 15 minutes of a day that you really don't have to give away, you know? So I just have a lot of routines.
I'm with you. I've got a lot
of preach it, brother. Yeah, I love that.
I'm the
that
same
awesome.
way. Even on a fun fishing day, you know, like I finally get one tomorrow, you know, and you know, but I've got a routine. I'm going to a lake that I know pretty well. I'm taking a couple of buddies with me. I've been on them up there. You know, the one I told you about, you really need to come up here. It's a little hidden lake, dude. I'm telling you.
You said a couple buddies. I was like, I must not have got that invite. Was it an email or something?
No, you got it.
I'm not sure.
I told you. I got a spare bedroom. Anytime you want to come, you come, man. We'll make some videos. But I'm telling you, man, I can't wait to get up there tomorrow. But I've got a routine. Like, I know what time I want to be there. I know what time I want to be on my spot. And that, you're right, man. If you don't have some sort of routine and you just wing that sort of thing, you are going to waste time. And you guys don't have the time to waste. Like you said, 16-hour, you know, days on the lake, man. That's a lot to get done when you're not on the lake, you know. So
what's a morning look like for you, Kyle?
So I usually wake up 2 hours before blast off as far as a tournament morning. I usually wake up 2 hours before blast off. I want to, so depending on your metabolism and how your body starts back working and stuff like that, you want to wake up and make sure that your actual like hormones and your brain chemicals and all that stuff start to get acclimated before you start doing things that really matter, you know? So I like to get up, kind of not get on your phone, but I usually take 30 or 40 minutes to kind of, you know, I get up, take a shower, get ready, drink some water, stuff like that. No caffeine at all until I've been awake for an hour. And then you know, then get some Black Rifle coffee in you and stuff like that. But it's just, there's a pace to it where you wake up and you give yourself enough time. And then everywhere we go is something different. You know, some places, if there's a decently healthy option where I could get some breakfast fast, I'll do that. If not, I'm going to eat some, you know, a Cliff Bar, granola bar, something like that. That's not super terrible, even though it's not good for you, but something like that. But really, it's just about the pace of the morning and never getting behind and making sure that your body gets acclimated to everything. Because low sleep and running on caffeine and waking up and pounding, you know, coffee or whatever, it's not great for the body. Like, your body has natural things where a natural way it wants to wake up. So I'm really conscious of that too.
Eventually your body's going to crash from that. Trust me, I know. Look at it. This is a crashed body, right? So what you're saying is, when you do come up here and go fishing with me, like a McGriddle every morning, it's not where we're stopping. Is that what you're saying?
In the off season, I'll splurge a little, but in a tournament morning during the elites, absolutely not. No.
Hey, I will say this, man. You know, I think we talked about this at the Classic this year. Hey, I'm down 50 pounds, man. You'd be proud of it.
That's awesome. That's phenomenal.
I had to, man. Jeez almighty. I was bigger than I ever, you know, I kind of quit, you know, I coached football for 13 years and I was in the weight room all the time there. And after that, it was just, you know, I was like, you know, Henry VIII. It was like, eat, drink, and be merry.
Yeah.
Gosh.
And
I kind of lived it up a little bit.
It's so gradual.
Yes.
It's so gradual. You don't see it. It kind of sneaks up on you.
Yes.
Yeah.
And then whenever you start to lose the weight, it's like, how was I even walking around?
Yeah. Listen, man, I was getting out of bed looking like I was 90. I was like, got it in my back.
My gosh. Earlier you talked about setbacks and ups and downs in the 2023 season. What's some of the ways that you handle some of those setbacks, you know, that eventually got you the Angler of the Year, man?
So my motto for this season was just to stay productive, and even if you've had a 2 or 3 hour window in the morning where, you had a failure, you had anything, whether it be batteries or trolling motor, you hit a stump and broke the bracket and you got to go get it changed, or motor issues or any kind of issues like that, like after that, it's just a clean slate. You've got a 5 hour day. 5 hours, plenty of times to catch fish, as long as you stay productive. You don't get spun out. You don't let small setbacks impact the rest of your day negatively. Because, I mean, we've all had 15 or 20-minute windows where we catch 20 pounds, 25, 30 pounds, all that type of stuff. So the worse off you are mentally, though, the least likely that stuff is to happen. Like I've thought about it a lot, and it's like the most fun days on the water, you get there and you're having a great time, but you're catching them. And I don't know if it's because you're catching them, so you're having a good time, or you're already having a good time, so you catch them. But I think they kind of go together. And if you stay positive, I mean, like positive people get lucky a lot more often than negative people. So
I agree with that.
I feel like you just got to stay productive all the time. And after a setback, the conditions are what they are. Like now you have 5 hours left. Now you've wasted half of your day fishing stuff that from practice that's not working. Well, now you've got 4 hours. How do you go get a bite right now and be productive and just do better than you're doing right now?
And you guys all
fixate.
Go ahead.
You can't fixate on like the check cut is going to be 19 pounds. You can't say, well, I'm going to go out there and just try to catch 19 pounds and fixate on that, because that's not how it works. It's more of a like chip away at it type of approach to bass fishing, especially tournaments.
And we brought this up with Joey as well. And, how many people, throughout the whole year that are fishing on a shoestring, just like run a business on a shoestring. I'm fishing for a check. My goal is to cash a check at every event. And instead of concentrating on their fishing ability, they're concentrating on the check.
Yeah. And
beating themselves
up. It goes
up.
back to us. That's exactly right. And setting the bar too low. Like there's a saying in aim small, miss small.
Yes.
Well, if you aim for the top 10 and miss, you'll end up in 30th. If you aim for 50th and miss, you end up in 80th. And
there you go.
That's not where you want to be.
Yeah. So now my next question is, how much did the new hairdo play into your confidence of the season this year?
Gosh,
I'll tell you this. If the wind's blowing and it's blowing around and hit me in the eyes, it's not very confidence at all. But it was.
You can't. It was now. Like you can't cut it now, right? Like we're getting ready to go to the Classic. Like I mean that's got to stay now. So I mean you gotta. It's obviously some good mojo.
I don't know if I can keep it. I'm ready to get rid of it right now.
I understand.
Well, I know. I think when I met you, for the first time in person at the East Tennessee Fishing Show, I had started letting mine grow out, and I let it get down pretty. Yeah, dude, trust me, I understand. It was time. When it was time, it was time. It had to go.
Yeah. It becomes a detriment after a while.
Yes.
For sure.
You can't drive with your windows down. It's like.
We were talking about ups and downs a little while ago, and I gotta get us back on track here. And we can dive into the final day, the last event, final day, 2023 season. I mean, there was an example right there. Boat issues. You come back in, you had work done, went back out, boat issues again. What did you end up losing? 2 or 3 hours?
So I ended up losing about 4 hours of the fishing day.
4 hours.
And maybe 3.5, something like that. But I know I got to fish just under 3 hours. So I probably lost 3.5 hours of the fishing day. But, that's just, that kind of stuff's going to happen. Like I get frustrated and I kind of beat myself up a little bit whenever I make bad decisions. But whenever stuff that's out of your control, there's only so much you can do, and it's going to happen. And the good thing about it is we were on a lake where you could literally pull up to a place and in an hour catch 25 or 26 or 27 pounds. Right. And it helps a little bit when they done gave me the AOI trophy the day before. takes a little bit of the edge off. But
man, I mean, you still Iron Man that out. You were still like, you could have took it. You could have took it and said, I done got this trophy. I'm gonna chill. I'm not making that run. You said, no. No, I'm gone. I'm making a run. I am being crazy Kyle today. I'm gone.
Because you got
Well,
another boat.
Yeah.
Another angler helped you out. You grabbed another
Yeah.
boat, and you went out fished. I think you ended up with what, like 20 pounds the final day. Because
Yeah.
like you said, you guys were on a body of water where you could get 20, 25 easily, and you finished fifth. But a lot of anglers would have just got pissed off after the second stop, issue, unless someone would have helped out. And just threw the boat on a trailer and said, "I'm done."
Yep. Now, I don't think like that. I never have. For me, like when I was young, I fished out of a boat that I would say the crank percentage was less than 50%. So I'd get to I'd get to the lake and I'd be fishing tournaments, and like it definitely crunk probably about half the time. And I would go to the tournament and I'd put the boat in the water and pay the money, and like maybe it'll crank. And if it don't, we'll fish off the trolling motor and maybe it'll crank in 2 hours. Like that's just kind of the way that I have always been with fishing. So like to me, it doesn't matter. Like we're gonna go and we're gonna do exactly the best thing we could possibly do to try to win every single tournament. And I think it's because I grew up fishing out of a 1982 aluminum boat that didn't crank very often. It's like when it gets done and it finally starts to work, we'll just go try to catch it.
There you go.
There you go. All right, 2023, amazing season. I think your worst finish was 44th, and that was on Lake St. Clair. But like I said, you had a great year throughout. I mean, the fifth place, the seventh place, and then, like I said, the middle of the top of the pack, really, in the top 25 was the rest of it. That consistency throughout the whole entire year. What do you think the key was to that consistency? I mean, because we were talking about earlier, Kevin Van Dam won Angler of the Year, won a bunch of stuff just by being Mr. Consistent.
Yep. That's the thing is like, just stay productive for 9 tournaments a year. Like that's literally the only thing that I can really say was better this year. It's like, I just didn't have near as many of those big lulls, throughout tournament days that really kind of put you behind the 8 ball. It just seemed like a lot of it goes to like the lakes fit my style. I could just run around and kind of do what I wanted to do in so many lakes. The toughest for me, where I feel like I was the least productive, was on St. Clair, because I was just in areas. There was like one area where like 40 of the top 50 was fishing in, and that's not where I fished in the tournament. So I actually got kind of fortunate, and I caught them better than a lot of the guys in my area, except for Joey. Joey actually won half a mile from me, which half a mile is a long way, but it's the same general area that I fished the first 2 days. But it's really the schedule will allow me to be consistent this year.
For you guys who are watching, we all knew it was going to be a great finish. You and Brandon Cobb, my buddy, I ain't gonna lie, my buddy, back and forth on this whole entire thing. How was the mental aspect of it going into the final couple events with you and him exchanging points?
Yeah, so I never really, fishing's not a sport where you're like against the other guy like that. It's not like it's not like UFC or wrestling or arm wrestling or chess even. It's more of a go do your job the best that you can and then just see what happens. So I went into the last 2 really confident, actually, because I felt like I was going to catch them on Champlain and St. Clair. I mean Champlain and St. Lawrence, just because I fished there now 3 or 4 times a piece. And I kind of, northern lakes are kind of milk run lakes. They're not like pattern lakes.
Yeah.
They're really, really milk run lakes. So having a little bit of experience there, I was pretty confident going up to those 2, but it was never about, I got to beat Brandon, like Brandon's a phenomenal fisher. Tons of respect for him. It was just like, let me go catch the most that I can catch every single day and then just maximize the opportunity that I have. So I just kept thinking back the whole time, this is an opportunity that you don't know how often you're going to get. And just don't overthink it. Don't get stressed out. Don't get spun out. Just go catch them the best that you possibly can.
Paul and Nick, when he won it last year, was talking about, I never paid attention to anything. I didn't look at it. I didn't look at the numbers, which we know. I don't know if that's all true, but I love Brandon. But
there's no way. You gotta know.
But for yourself, man, were you kind of paying attention to this thing and said, okay, I need to do X to get X? Or like you said, you were just concentrating and said, okay, I want to go fish it, and however it ends, it ends.
So it's very difficult to not look at the points, because if you don't look, people will tell you. Like they'll tell you
now.
Like every single time I talk to somebody, they're like, telling me exactly where I'm at in the points, where everybody else is at, and all this stuff. It's like, it don't matter if I look or not. Everybody's going to tell me. But, AOI is one of those things that's weird. So I think I was leading going into St. Clair. And you literally have no idea. If I come in the top 30 in all three, I may win AOI by 40 points. Or I could come in the top 30 in all three and lose AOI by 15 points.
Right.
It's kind of one of those things where it's not really math based. I mean, you can get an average finish that you think it's going to take, but it's kind of just one of those things where I went into those tournaments knowing what kind of weight it was going to take to do good in those tournaments. And I practiced extremely hard, and I did not stop and fish much in practice for, like, if I pull up and I catch 3-pounders, if I catch 2 or 3 of them, I'm leaving. Like, I'm for sure leaving. I want to be in that different class of smallmouth, which they congregate based on size. I wouldn't say they school up based on size, because big ones don't seem to school up. But you can get in one 100-yard stretch where half of the ones you see are over 4 pounds, and you can do that on all 3 of those lakes. It's weird how they don't get together, but they get in a 150-yard area where there's just big ones swimming around for whatever reason. So I just went into those with a weight that I thought I was going to take to do well in those tournaments. And I practiced for, trying to be as close to winning as possible.
Was there a pivotal moment in the season that you said, I think I can do this?
Day 2 of Champlain, whenever it was canceled, because I had a really bad day 1 on Champlain.
Yep.
And day 2, it was canceled. I woke up, I was mad at the world because I felt like it was going to be an easy 18 or 19 pounds. In that, when I was like 18 or 19 pounds going to be easy. It's just, can I catch 21 is kind of the threshold there. From 18 to 21 is a huge difference. And so day 1, I go out there and I'm fishing around and I'm seeing them and they're biting, but they're not committing to the bait. They're not hooking it. I'm throwing, Damiki style baits or Gussie style baits. That should be the new name for it for sure. But
I call them just minnow baits. That's what I call them.
Yeah, all that stuff.
Minnow baits.
They're bumping it a ton. For some reason, the areas I'm in, they're just bumping it, and like over and over and over. And after that happens, I'm like, man, maybe they're white bass or small ones or something. So I start running, and then I pull up to an area and I'll catch a 3-pounder, and I'm like, I don't even need that one. So I put it in live well and I'll go to a new area, and I just never kind of settled down on day 1. And then on day 2, I made some bait adjustments and kind of settled down in my area and expanded and found kind of where they had moved to. And during the off day of Champlain, it was like a calm came over me while I'm out there rigging tackle. And it's like, my dad's there, my wife's there, and some of my friends that are staying with me are there. And I said, I'm just going to go catch 20 twice and move up to in the 20 somewhere, and we'll go to St. Lawrence and have a good shot at winning AOI. And they was like, yeah, go do it. And I'm like, no, y'all don't understand. Like, I'm going to go do it for real because I know what I'm around.
There you go.
I fish too fast. So I made some bait adjustments out there, and it's like, and then after catching, I caught 21 and 20, and I think back and I'm like, how in the world did I catch 16.9 on day 1? I don't understand. Like, I have no idea. The only thing that makes sense is like, I was supposed to have that issue. Like, I was supposed to have a little bit of hard times right there. Yeah. Because it was early enough to rectify and give me a different type of fire. Because going into day 2 and going into day 3 and then going into St. Lawrence, it was a different type of motivation after getting my butt kicked on that first day.
Heck yeah.
Dave, man, that's all I have for you, man. I really appreciate you coming on. Like I said, awesome year. Congratulations. We appreciate you taking time to come on with us tonight. Geek, do you have any questions for Mr. Kyle Welcher?
No, man, just a statement. I'm a big fan of Kyle. Kyle knows that. We met a couple of years ago, and I think we just stood there for about 2 hours BSing around, man, like old pals. And, I just want to say thanks, man, for being so cool to me, treating me good. And, I'm rooting for you. I'll be in Oklahoma with Camus. You're going to be fishing the Classic, and I'll be your biggest cheerleader. Well, other than your wife, I know she'll be your biggest cheerleader. We all love her, of course, but yeah, man, I'm for you to get it. I thought for sure I was jumping up and down in my living room during the last one you fished. I was like, but I appreciate you, man, and I'm proud of you.
Yep. Thank you.
So.
Thank you. I appreciate that. It really means a lot. And thank y'all for having me on. It's always a good time.
Appreciate you, brother. Kyle Welcher, everyone. Anywhere people can follow, any sponsors you like to thank before you roll out?
You know, we're very active on social media. We do a lot of stuff on YouTube. That's our main place.
Yes, you do.
Great.
It's just Kyle Welcher on YouTube. And, you know, we've been posting some pretty crazy stuff lately, some controversial stuff a little bit about
yeah, that was a good one.
All right, guys. So head on over, check him out, give him a follow. And guys, we're going to take a quick break and we will be right back. Man, what an awesome show. Like I said, last weekend, you know, we had the, you know, Ms. Joyce Fuentes winning, you know, Rookie of the Year. And this week, Kyle Welcher winning Angler of the Year. Congratulations to both them. Two great podcasts. I ain't gonna lie. I think me and Geek killed it on these two. Head on over, Basscast Radio. Check it out. If you've downloaded your iOS app, update. It's actually their podcasting section we look really nice, to be honest. Nice little boxes. I think
nice.
I haven't. Oh, did I delete it? I think I did.
I know. I don't know if you know this, but did you know that now that YouTube now in their music has podcasts? So
yes, because I actually went in and Basscast Radio is now a podcast under YouTube.
There you go.
I had to make some changes, but I think our last 8 episodes have been under the podcast network. And if you go to youtube.com/podcast and then type in Basscast Radio, you'll find us right there, along with all the other podcasts that they have on YouTube.
Nice.
So we are a part of that. You know, it's dumb. I don't want to get into this. I was dumb. Let's just say this much. I had actually changed one little thing, and we could have had it a little earlier. But I was like, I kept looking for a button every time I upload the podcast. And I was like, where's the show? So we say a podcast. But you had to as you title, like your categories. You had to pick. It was under categories. All right, that's enough of that part. Guys, really appreciate that. Here in Central Virginia, I'm wanting to go to the Potomac this weekend, guys. It's the last Northern Toyota Series event, but they call for 2 inches of rain on Saturday, and I'm not a huge fan of going. We're still watching the weather. We're still watching what's going on. It all begins today because it's going to upload on Thursday. But it all begins today, and I'm really not a huge fan of driving 3 hours in the rain, standing in the rain for an hour, and drive back home 3 hours in the rain.
Yeah,
I love bass fishing, guys. I love it with all my heart, and I mean that 110%. But man, that's asking for punishment. Ain't nobody gonna want to talk.
No.
They're gonna want to get in a cause and warm up and get home unless you're cashing a check. And even and you're the top maybe 5. Even that, the rest of them are gonna be gone. Mail us our check.
There you go.
So we're going to be watching the weather. If we don't have that, if I do not go to that this weekend, guys, I hope to see everyone at the end of the month at Smith Mountain Lake for the 2023 Fall Big Bass Tour. Letting you guys know now, we're doing a contest. It will be on Facebook. We've been doing one for years. And this year, we're going to make it a local contest because I'm giving away a rod. It's a $50 to $100 rod someone gave me. Thank you to this person that gave me the rod. They know who they are. And I'm going to give away the rod. It's still wrapped up. It's still in plastic. It's still sitting right here beside me. The plastic came in. And we're going to be giving a bunch of baits and a bunch of prizes away to whoever guesses the winning weight of the largest bass without going over. Whatever it takes to win the event without going over. But all that will be on the Basscast Facebook page in 2 weeks. Yeah. Whew. It's coming up quick. So that's where we're going to be. Appreciate you guys. Thank you for being a part of the Basscast. Make sure you're following Geek on YouTube.
I would appreciate it.
Anything special that you guys have that you have coming out, Geek?
You know, man, like I said, we're just we got a bunch of videos coming. You know, we always drop on Sunday and Wednesday. Make sure you check them out. We got some really good fishing content. If you like actual fishing videos, we've got some good fishing videos coming out here real soon. Hopefully, we're going to make another one tomorrow. And if you're a forward-facing sonar fan, guys, I am a network engineer. I'm pretty good with the electronics, and we got a lot of stuff on that is coming, and that is already up.
All right, guys. Before we go, podcast is not free, guys. I think we worked extremely hard on this thing, and you guys have noticed it because we've gotten a lot of followers on Facebook the last couple of weeks. I ain't lying, geek. I think I've accepted 30 new followers since our last episode.
Nice.
So thank you for following Basscast Radio on Facebook. But what we really need you to do is we really need you to head on over to wherever you listen to your podcast network and hit the subscribe button, the download button, the follow button, whatever it is, wherever you listen, the add to your lineup, or Basscast Radio on YouTube and hit the subscribe button. It helps us out tremendously, helps pay the bills, and I ain't gonna lie, me and Geek don't make a dime off this thing. We do it because we love bass fishing. We don't make nothing. Zero. Zilch.
That's right.
Nothing. It costs $650 a year just to put our show on all these networks. Straight up. So all we're asking from you is hit subscribe button. So maybe we can get some of that $600 back and break even. And maybe make a dime next year. But that we don't want to talk about the money because that's not what's important. The important is we love this. We love being a part of you. And we love having these great guests on, hoping to make you a better angler in 2023, 2024, 25. So have a great night, everyone. Again, appreciate you guys. And we will talk to you later.